He's right. I do like it. Shinichiro Yokota is a Japanese house artist who I don't know much about. He was dropping a lot of singles and EPs in the 90s, but seems to have gone really quiet for many years, up until a few years back where he dropped an official full-length album. He's also collaborated with Soichi Terada as well on the Sounds from the Far East album on the track Do It Again, which is a great little dance cut. Really groovy and fun. And Soichi Terada features on this album as well, so they've collaborated frequently up until this point, but as I've already said, he seems to be a bit of a mystery depending on how much you know about him, because I can't really find that much that suggests where he's been for so long and why he didn't drop an album up until now. But it doesn't really matter anyway, because this is so good. The entire album is just filled with deep house cuts that are all incredibly fresh, smooth and groovy. There isn't really a single track on here that I feel like it gets dull, even though most of the tracks kind of do a similar thing. There are some vocal samples that I utilise throughout as well that just constantly get stuck in my head. Some of these tracks even sound very 90s inspired as well. You can definitely tell that influence from that era is all over this album, and perhaps some of these tracks will have been recorded back then maybe, because I know the last two songs are recorded in the 90s, as they say in brackets 1992, so perhaps there are some leftovers here as well that maybe he's just tidied up since then and made them a bit more modern sounding. They do all have a modern flair, but you can definitely feel that throwback to that era as well, because it was such a prime time for that era, with a lot of artists kind of like taking the sounds in different directions. You know, you've got the Chemical Brothers who completely took it to the next level, and plenty of other artists too. But these tracks are incredibly breezy though. Like, there's just so little going on in a lot of these tracks, but yet it feels so full. Like, you just don't need anything added in. If you added more, it probably would take away from the album as opposed to add to it. He just knows how to carry an amazing melody and keep it going for 6-7 minutes at times while taking it in new directions by flipping the melodies here and there as well to kind of add a different touch to the track. And they are just so nice to listen to. The second track especially, which I think is the best track as well, and the opening track, I Know You Like It, which is such a great opener. Like, the minute that song came on, I was like, okay, we might be onto some good shit, and we were. The vocal sample with the I know you like it, I know you like it. This moment as well with the this moment, this time. The friggin' piano melody is all that comes in. It's just the album that just gets me dancing, man, the whole time. I just want to dance, and I'm a shit dancer, so it's not a good thing, really. David Rowe, I'm calling you out, man. David, you got to dance this entire album on camera, dude. If you can do it to Dilate, why can't you do it to this? I mean, they're the same album, obviously, so do it to this one. As well as the sticky grooves and melodies that I keep bringing up, this album does also feel very nocturnal too, very dark night feel to the album. Like, even the track Night Drive, you know, being titled Night Drive, may make me feel like that might be what Shinichiro is going for with this album too. But yeah, generally this album just scratches that itch, you know, like the tasteful danciness, this entire thing just gives it so much replay value. Like, there is just not a single environment where I feel like I couldn't play this. And I honestly think this could even fit into like a nightclub setting at points too. Maybe if you just cranked up the bass a little bit, because obviously that's a bit more of an appealing sound in a nightclub. But even still, these melodies have so much bite to them that they just would fit. They would fit. The final track too just honestly feels like it needs a remix with a rapper rapping over it, because it just has that hip-hop 90s flair to it that I think some throwback rappers could honestly really ride over the beat, and it could be pretty sick. Even aside from that though, it's a great beat. It ends off the album really nicely and actually shows a nice bit of versatility to Shinichiro's music as well, because it's not just the same type of beats the whole way through. Even though it is a very similar aesthetic throughout the whole thing, there are some tracks that go for something different as well. There's a bit of that 8-bit video game type inspiration on some of these tracks as well. It's just got everything and it's done incredibly well. I'm really, really impressed with this. Could honestly be one of those albums that ends up rising to a 9 out of 10, but for now I'm going to go 8.5 out of 10 because I do think this is so good. A major highlight for the year. Hope people check this out. I hope it starts gaining traction. And let me know what you think of it if you've heard it. Have a good day. I know you like it. I know you like it.